So when do people start asking, like, the question? If you mean the mass populace, I do not know. And if you mean me, in about give or take 5 minutes. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 10 of the regular season, where the Astros lose 4-3 to the Seattle Mariners and drop the first game of the Seattle series. I stayed up till after midnight Eastern Standard Time to finish watching this game, and for a minute I thought I was going to be rewarded. The good of this game is Hayden Wesniewski pitched a gem. By God, was he great. 7 innings of 2-run ball. Didn't walk anybody, got 5 strikeouts, which is not where you're looking for. You'd like a couple more than that, but dude, 7 2-run innings with no walks. The strikeouts, while they're important, almost immaterial. He pitched a gem, and from a guy who's probably your 4th starter right now, and probably like your 8th starter when the season gets really rolling and guys get healthy again, what more could you possibly want against a team who's probably your most serious threat in the West? Maybe the Rangers. Probably the Rangers or them. It's kind of a coin flip. And you blow it. You get Jose Altuve giving you a home run. And you blow it. A no-doubter, by the way. Holy God, did he just demolish that thing. Altuve will never not be good, you guys. I think we're... Like, are we at that point? I think he's just permanently a great player. Like, he is going to retire still hitting, like, 25 home runs, still finishing the season with a triple slash of, like, 300 flat, 350 to 60, and then, like, around 4. He's just... He's so freaking good. My God, I love watching this player. And you get a clutch hit with the bases loaded and 2 outs out of Christian Walker to give you a lead. You had it. You had the game. And the mind-numbing decision to bring in Taylor Scott after he's looked shaky to start the year, incredibly shaky, in a 1-run game, when Abreu had only pitched 1 inning since Thursday. They had the off day Friday. He didn't pitch Saturday. He pitched yesterday. 1 inning in like 4 days. You had Brian King, who was the same situation. You had Steve O'Kurt, who hadn't pitched since Saturday. You had Ryan Gusto, who hadn't pitched since Saturday. And you make the decision to go with Taylor Scott in the 1-run game. And it backfires horribly. You give up a pair of runs, and they blow the game open. And then you come up in the 9th, and you can't get anything going. And it's incredibly frustrating, because it's another game. This is a game, the first one this season, that was genuinely just blown by the manager. Espada managed it terribly. And it's the first one that I outright just go, oh no, this was Espada. This is not the pitching staff. This is not the offense. This is solely upon your manager. And also, he is doing this thing that annoys the ever-loving hell out of me. Correct me if I'm wrong. The hits came after, and I say this because I just watched it, but it has been quite a long afternoon. The hits came after he was removed. You bring in Brian Abreu to mop up his inning, and this is the thing that drives me insane with Espada. So many times already this season, there has been a reliever brought in, and he gets into some trouble, and instead of letting them try to work through it, you just throw another guy in there. I understand Taylor Scott was going through it. I want to say when he left, there were 2 runners on and 1 out. Let him go! Let him deal with it! Figure it out! Stop doing this! It's not beneficial to the team. Multiple times this season we've seen reliever come in, get a couple guys on base, get unout, get removed, and then those runs come around to score. This has happened like 4 times already this season. That's not an exaggeration. I know at least 3. And I can't imagine it's a good thing for the relationships in the bullpen, because I cannot imagine that if you're Taylor Scott, you have the opinion of, yeah, it's me. I would have worked out of it. Look what I did last year. I would have worked out of it. And if you're Abreu, you're probably getting irritated that you have to come in sooner than you were expecting and try to mop up somebody else's mess. It can't be good for their relationships. Like, there's going to be... I understand that, like, oh, no, they're a team. They're professional athletes. They're highly competitive. And they're all human. They're going to throw some, even if it's not actual, in their mind, some blame around. I can't imagine it's helping relationships. And it was the moment where I started to realize, you know, there's been, like, a lot less good vibes since, like last season. You know, 2023, vibes were still insanely high. Unbelievably high. Last season, there weren't any vibes. There just wasn't. This team doesn't get up right now. And I'm going to open dialogue. Exactly 5 minutes after I said. That's comical. I'm going to simply open dialogue. And because I love pulling analogies, right? If you tell me, man, I just don't feel good in the afternoon, or really at all. You know, I feel tired when I work out, or tired when I play this thing, or tired when I do this, like, strenuous activity. And I go, well, is it possible that you aren't eating totally properly? I'm not saying, are you a fat ass? I am asking the simple question of, hey, is there possibly another factor? I'm not saying they need to fire Joe Espada right now. But I'm going to start putting the idea out in the world that, you know, maybe Espada isn't the guy we were promised. Maybe Espada isn't the answer to their manager situation. Because you go from Dusty Baker, who, again, I'm not going to say he was perfect, and I'm not sitting here going, oh, I wish we had Dusty back. No, they made the correct move. But at least, when the end of the season would come, they would figure it out. At least when the postseason would come, they always figured it out. And they were doing that before Dusty. Dude, last season, they limped into the playoffs. They were mid as all hell. They looked mediocre. And they get to the playoffs. They don't win a game. Did they even have a lead in that Twins series? Like, not beyond did they have a lead in any of those either of those games, any of them, either of them. They look so much more just dudes out there working and not a group of baseball players. They don't look happy. They look not quite miserable, but just, if lethargic was a team, that's how they look. And I'm not saying that solely on Joe Espada, but I'm saying he's made a lot of not great decisions in his, like, little time period here. Dusty made a lot of not good decisions, but there were games, there were especially series and playoff series specifically, where Dusty managed a great series and deserves so much credit. So much credit. You're not seeing that right now with Espada. If he's not noticeably costing them games, that's basically as good as it's been. There hasn't been a game where I'm like, man, just every single move of that was a masterful little pull of the strings by Joe Espada. We've questioned the lineup constantly. We've questioned personnel decisions constantly. Bullpen decisions constantly. And I'm just starting to throw it out there of, like, the honeymoon phase is over. The team, on account of how good they've been and for how long they've been, still has quite a bit of goodwill left in the bank. And I'm not panicking for this season, but I'm at least beginning to really question the Joe Espada thing. Because to this point, I don't even recall a game in his year and now a little tiny bit of change where I've been like, dude, unreal calls there by Espada. Really, really great use of the personnel to win that game. And you might say, Weston, were there really games like that in the Dusty era? There were some. And you're just not seeing it right now. And again, I think he definitely, I'm not saying he will be fired in the season. I think he definitely has the season to see what happens. But to sit here and say that that thought wasn't floating around my mind would be a lie. And this game was the first time in that little period where I've no longer been like, come on, guys, you're ridiculous. Fire Espada, what are we talking about? And now it was like, man, a lot of the shine is kind of gone. I was literally about to just strictly hop into talking about, you know, tomorrow's time and pitchers. And I read a text from dear friend of the channel, Noah, who, after I started recording this, sent me a thing talking about Wisniewski. He only was at 82 pitches going into the 8th. They could have left him out there. He was at 82 pitches with 2 runs allowed through 7 innings. And it was a 1-2-3 in the 7th, I believe, to get through it. Why? Noah, heart to heart. Why? Why would you send that to me? Why did you feel it necessary to send that text message? They have a chance to rebound tomorrow. The same time, 9:40 Eastern, 8:40 Central. Woo! Sleep is for losers. The Astros have not named a starter yet. The Mariners are going to send Luis Castillo. And I will be here afterwards to talk about it. But as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.